Little learning is a dangerous thing. All right. We are doing John Keats, and the ode is Ode to the Nightingale. Let us continue with the lines 16. No? Please mute yourself, otherwise you'll be disturbing everybody. Mute. Listen very carefully, then you will understand. Okay. So, the writer in the lines 17 and 18, these are the lines of the poetry, and these are the explanation which I'm going to read it out first and then explain. With beaded bubbles winking at the brim and purple stained mouth. The author is talking about a glass full of wine. So the author is talking about a complete glass full of wine. If you take a glass of Coca-Cola or Coke, you will see that there are bubbles. ग्लास के ऊपर में आपको bubbles दिखते होंगे, दिखते हैं ना?
Yes, ma'am.
There are bubbles, and when the light shines on them, जब उस पर light का, when the light shines on those on that glass, तो bubbles को लगता है कि उसमें आंखें blink कर रही हैं. वो bubbles नहीं होती, वो eyes बन जाती है और वो blink करती है, खुलती बंद होती रहती है. जैसे सीरीज बल्ब में आप देखते हैं जो लाइट्स, कभी दिवाली में देखा होगा आपने, जो सीरीज बल्ब है, कभी जलती है कभी बुझती है, तो उसी तरह से ग्लास के ऊपर में जो बबल्स आ जाते हैं और जब लाइट पड़ता है उसमें तो आंखों की तरह ब्लिंक करते वो, इट शाइन्स लाइक स्मॉल बबल, स्मॉल टाइनी आईज. ही इज राइटिंग अबाउट दैट. बीडेड बबल्स, वो मोती की तरह वो बबल्स हो जाते हैं. और विंकिंग मतलब वो लगता है कि एक दूसरे को आंख मार रहे हैं, विंक कर रहे हैं. एट द ब्रिम, ब्रिम का मतलब होता है ऊपर में बनते हैं, जो टॉप में बबल्स ऊपर में ही बनते हैं. एंड पर्पल स्टेन्ड माउथ. और जैसे ग्रेप जूस आप पीते हैं, कोई भी जूस पीते हैं, बीट रूट जूस पीते हैं, तो आपका माउथ हो जाता है वो भी लाल रंग का हो जाता है. अगर ग्रेप जूस पीते हैं तो आपका माउथ पर्पल हो जाता है. तो जिस कलर का भी किसी कोई जूस पीते हैं कलर्ड, तो आपका माउथ भी कलर हो जाता है. उसी तरह से वो कह रहे हैं कि वो एंड पर्पल स्टेन्ड माउथ, ग्रेप जूस पीने के बाद पर्पल हो जाता है, पर्पल कलर होता है ग्रेप जूस का, और उसके पीने के बाद आपका माउथ भी पर्पल हो जाता है. Let us see again. In delicious detail, the speaker describes the appearance of the wine. It has little bubbles at the burst or wink at the brim of the cup, like little eyes. So, bubbles become little eyes that blink, that wink. It also stains your mouth purple when you drink it, like any strong red wine will do. So any juice which you will drink, which is colored, like beetroot juice or grape wine, or grape juice, sorry, not grape wine, or grape juice, your mouth will also become colored, stained, colored, the color of the juice. Lines 19 and 20. That I might drink and leave the world unseen, and with thee fade away the forest dim. And the writer is saying that I might drink, I might drink and leave this world, और ये दुनिया में छोड़ दूं. Unseen, जब कोई नहीं देख रहा होगा तो. And with thee, D का मतलब होता है he is talking to the nightingale and with you fade away into the forest dim. और घने जंगल में तुम्हारे साथ में फेड अवे कर जाऊं, चले जाऊं, लीव द वर्ल्ड, मर जाऊं. The speaker sums up his intention. The speaker sums up. The speaker is talking about what he wants in these final two lines of the stanza. He wants to get drunk on this magical wine so that he can leave the world without anyone noticing and just fade into the dark forest with the nightingale. In simple words, he would like to get drunk and he would like to leave this world and enter into the nightingale's world and fly. Just as the nightingale is flying into the jungle, into the forest, he also would like to fly away with the nightingale in his imagination. What is this sound coming? Please mute yourself. म्यूट कर लीजिए अपने आप को. Fade away, fade far away, dissolves and quite forget.
Anand Kumar, mute please.
Do you not understand? Do you not understand? So the writer is feeling so upset that he wants to enter the nightingale's world. वो उसकी दुनिया में चले जाना चाहता है, चला जाना चाहता है. And fade away, और वही खत्म हो जाना चाहता है. Fade away, dissolve and forget and quite forget what thou amongst the leaves has never known. और तुम्हारी तरह तुम्हारे पास जा करके, तुम्हारे साथ रह करके और भूल जाऊं जो तुमको कभी पता नहीं है, जो तुम कभी जानोगी नहीं. बिकॉज वो कह रहे कि नाइटिंगेल को पता नहीं है इंसानों का दुख क्या होता है. The nightingale does not know of the sadness of human beings. The nightingale is unaware. The human world is full of pain, full of suffering, full of depression, full of sadness, which the nightingale does not know. And the nightingale will never know. The speaker dreams about fading out of the world. The speaker wants to, the speaker dreams to, the speaker wishes to, the speaker desires to fade away, to die, to leave this world, of just disappearing in a very quiet way. And very quietly, he wants to leave this world where nobody is watching, when nobody is looking, when nobody will know. Because this is a quiet evening and it is getting dark and nobody can see him. So he feels this is the time. This is the perfect time when he feels there can be no other time to go away. There can be no other time to leave the world. But this moment, when everything is fine, when he's feeling good, when he is wanting to be with the nightingale, with this beautiful feeling, he would like to end his life. The speaker dreams of fading out of the world, of just disappearing in a very quiet way. He wants to forget about those things that the nightingale has never had to worry about. The nightingale doesn't worry about anything. The nightingale, the speaker says that they are very happy birds and they know not of any suffering. The bird is free from any tension, any worries, any depression, or any sadness. The weariness, the fever, and the fret, here, where men sit and hear each other groan. Now he's talking about the human world. वो बात कर रहा है अपनी दुनिया के बारे में, इंसानों की दुनिया के बारे में. And he talks about the weariness, the tiredness, the fatigue. जो थकान यहाँ है, जो टायर्डनेस यहाँ पे ह्यूमन बींग्स को है. They will never know. The Nightingale will never know. And the fret, the fever, जो बीमारियां होती हैं, जो sickness है, जो disease है. The human beings are suffering from disease, which the Nightingale will never know. The fret का मतलब होता है टेंशन, worries, तनाव. जो तनाव यहाँ पे है. So why does he want to leave the world? Because the human world is full of weariness, tiredness, fatigue, depression, disease, sickness, fever, COVID-19, and the worries. The mothers worry, the fathers worry, the students worry. Tension is everywhere. So this is what Keats thinks. The human beings are full of tension, full of depression, full of sickness. Here, when men sit and hear each other groan, it means when people talk to each other, when people meet each other, they will only talk about each other's tension. Groan means अपना ही विलाप, अपना ही रोना. एक दूसरे का कराहना सुनते हैं, एक दूसरे की सैड स्टोरी सुनते हैं. So when people meet each other, they only talk about their illness, their sickness, their tension, and they listen to each other groan, each other crying, each other's sadness. The world is full of tired and weary people. Sickness or fever and massive stress, fret, too much of tension. He reduces all the society down to one depressingly exaggerated image. और वो ये लाइन में entire world को, entire human world को उसने एक लाइन में sum up कर दिया है कि this world is full of tension, full of sickness, full of weariness, full of tiredness, and the only sound which you can hear is each other's crying, groaning, sadness, complaints. That is why he wants to leave this human world. And sure enough, very soon he also died. So probably this was the last poetry which he wrote, and it was in December, and in February he died. So much of death in his mind. When Pansy shakes a few sad last grey hair, where youth grows pale and spectre thin and dies. Now he's talking about time. Human beings have everything, but they don't have time. Time is his biggest enemy. Where youth becomes old, people who are young, they grow old, they become thin, they become pale. Spectre thin means they become so thin that they look like ghosts. So all this happens with time. With the passing of time, each day there will be new tension, each day there will be new problems. Until you grow old, you become sick. You will grow old, you will become sick, and you will lose all your hair. And the smiling youth will become a thin like ghost, so thin that you will resemble, that people resemble to become to ghosts, and then they die. So in this section, Keats confronts one of his favorite enemies, which is time. He had so much imagination and he was so talented. He was so full of talent. What he did not have is time. So the poet is talking about his favorite enemy. Why favorite enemy? Because he had wanted to die. Maybe he has summoned, he has called his death. So time is the speaker's enemy because it causes young and beautiful people to turn old, pale, thin as a ghost, and eventually dead as a doornail. This is an expression of speech. Dead as a doornail, it means you become dead. You die. Lines 27-28. Where but to think is to be full of sorrow. तो सोचने से ही आपको दुख होने लगेगा. Only thinking about it will make you sad. That time will take away everything. Will take away the beautiful eyes. Will take away the beautiful face. And all happiness will turn into despair and sadness. So with each passing day, you will have nothing to look forward to. No happiness. As days will pass, you will be sadder and sadder and unhappy. So this is what Keats thinks. Probably maybe something which he must have experienced, or the sixth sense told him. Maybe, I don't know. He was aware of his death or something. So he wrote all these things before he died. That the longer you live, the sadder you will be. So the world is a place where any kind of thinking leads to depressing thoughts and worries. There are no thoughts that can ultimately bring joy or peace. Thinking itself is a problem. So human beings think. And that is why he says, that is why we are sad. Because we think so much. The pros and the cons. सोचते बहुत ज़्यादा हम लोग.
Yes, ma'am, you are right.
और सोचने, these are not my lines. Sorry, I don't agree with John Keats because I'm a very motivated person. So this is John Keats. So thinking is a problem. He says, जितनी सोचोगे उतनी depression होगे. And why do you say yeah, ma'am? So the world totally wears people down and tries them out. It means the world, time drags them to sickness. Time pushes them to sadness, pushes them to sickness, and pushes them to death. Time. John Keats' favorite enemy.
मैम इस लाइन का मतलब क्या है? And leaden eyes disappears.
And laden eyes despair. Beautiful eyes भी beautiful face भी time के साथ old हो जाता है. People lose their beauty. Beautiful eyes. But to think is full of sorrow, and laden eyes despairs. Or every eyes which you see, with age, nothing remains. Time takes away everything. And this time, the time which Keats is talking about, which is his favorite enemy. This is very true because I told you again and again, I'm telling you, because the lines written in December and the man dying at in February, he died. Just after a couple of months, he was no more. So much of imagination. Like, what's the point of continuing to live? Because with every new day, there will be a new problem. And thinking is a problem of human beings. They will think and they will create their own problems. Where beauty cannot keep her lustrous eyes, oh, new love pine at them beyond tomorrow. No matter how beautiful your face is, or no matter how beautiful the eyes is, the lover may think you're the most beautiful face or the most beautiful eyes, but then tomorrow it will not be there. कल ऐसा नहीं होगा. Today the eyes are beautiful, lustrous eyes, beautiful eyes, but tomorrow age will take away everything. The speaker continues to explain why the world of human being is such a bad place. Neither beauty nor love can survive there for long. So beauty is short-lived, and he feels love also is short-lived. Beauty loses her glowing, lustrous eyes, probably when they become laden from depressed thoughts. Even when your eyes are beautiful and you are young, but if you are having depressing thoughts, the beauty will fade away. Or maybe just from old age. Line 31 to 32. These lines are important because it will come in your exam. Explain these, but if you have MCQs, I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to know the lines line by line. To know the poetry, to know the poet, you need to know his lines. So away, away, for I will fly to thee, not charioted by Bacchus or his parts. These lines means he's telling the nightingale that I will come with you. I will come fly with you. I will be with you. Away, away, for I will fly to thee. I will come to you. And who is this you? Thee. Thee. He's giving a lot of respect to the nightingale. Thee means हम लोग जो हिंदी में आप और तुम का संबोधन करते हैं. आप मतलब thou. When you're talking about somebody who is highly respected, like thy and thou. These are old in English, but it is used for somebody, for someone whom you are giving a lot of respect. For example, the God. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. When we say our prayers, it is like this. So he's giving a lot of respect to the nightingale, and he's saying, away, away, I will fly to thee. I will come to you. Not charioted by Bacchus and his parts. Bacchus means the lord of drinks. Bacchus in a Greek mythology is the god of drinks. So he said, I will come to you. I will not be escorted by drinks. It's not that after drinking I will be coming to you. I do not need any drink now. I do not need Bacchus. He cannot drive me. The god of drinks cannot guide me. And I'm not dependent on Bacchus, and I'm not dependent on drinks or his companions. Parts is means Bacchus is the Greek god, and parts his companions. ठीक है, उनके जो companions होते हैं, जैसे ना शंकर भगवान होते हैं और उनके साथ साथ जो बहुत भूत प्रेत चलते हैं, तो वो कहते हैं मुझे जरूरत नहीं, उनकी भी जरूरत नहीं है. Because earlier in the lines, earlier in the poetry, he said that he would like to drink wine, but अब उसको वो भी जरूरत नहीं है. He does not want to get drunk. He would like to fly away to the nightingale without being intoxicated, without even wanting to drink. He does not need drinks. He does not need any support from Bacchus or his companions. All this thinking about how depressing the world is makes the speaker think, get me out of here. और इतना डिप्रेशन, इतनी डिप्रेसिंग थॉट्स के बाद वो सिर्फ एक ही बात चाहता है, एनी हाउ, किसी तरह से टेक मी आउट फ्रॉम हियर, get me out of here. He needs to hash an escape plan, and then he's making a plan to escape. कि किस तरह से प्लान बनाया जाए कि यहाँ से किस तरह से बच के निकल लिया जाए. He wants to fly away to join the Nightingale in its refuge. और बचने के लिए he would like to go enter the world of the Nightingale. From the world, a refuge from the world, to escape from this world. But he knows that the booze isn't going to take him. That is not going to help him. The booze is a slang for drinking. Any kind of drink is not going to help him at all. So he is at that point. Even he says that any kind of medicine or any kind of drink is going to have no effect on him. He can't rely on drinks. He can't rely on the god of drinks, Bacchus, the Greek god of wine, or any of Bacchus's buddies or friends, which is what he wanted earlier in the poem. But now he says he wants nothing. He just wants to escape this world and enter into the Nightingale's world. Now, how will he go? वो कैसे जाएंगे? But on the viewless wings of the poesy, though the dull brain perplexes and retards, he feels that, how will I go? How will I fly? I don't have wings. कैसे मैं जाऊंगा? तो वो कहते हैं कि मैं अपने पोएट्री के पंखों पे उड़ के जाऊंगा. पोएट्री के विंग्स होते हैं जो कि दिखते नहीं. You can imagine, you can go anywhere in your world with your thoughts. He would like to fly on the wings of his poetry. But he feels that his brain is becoming dull. And कोई नई बात अब नहीं आ रही है उसको लिखने के लिए. Though the dull brain perplexes, he is disturbed that he cannot write anything. He's so worried that he cannot write anything more. So कैसे जाएंगे wings of poetry पे, when now that he is admitting that he cannot, there are no thoughts coming, and so how can I write more and more? How can I fly on the wings of poetry when my mind is disturbed? I cannot write. So instead of wine, he is going to fly on the wings of his own poetry. Poetry's wings are invisible or viewless. He is hopeful that poetry will take him to the Nightingale's world, even though his brain is not so helpful in making the trip. His brain confuses. His brain confuses him and slows him down. When your brain confuses you, you cannot work, you cannot, especially when you are a poet, you cannot write. When you are worried, you cannot write.
Wings of poetry क्या हुआ?
पोइट्री के जैसे कवि जाते हैं कैसे कहीं कहीं चले जाते हैं अपने इमेजिनेशन से, अपनी पोइट्री से, अपनी कविता के माध्यम से. विंग्स ऑफ पोइट्री. And then he's saying he's already वो आ चुका है, he's already there, already with thee, and he is very happy. वो लिख रहे हैं तो he's happy. I have reached that point. In my imagination, I am there with you. Already with thee, tender is the night. And then he is feeling the nightingale is in the forest. It is dark. And John Keats also is there with them. Already I'm there with you. And he says the night is tender. It is a beautiful night, tender night. And happily, the queen moon is on the throne. Or he's talking about the moon. It is a moonlit night. And he sees the moon in the sky. So this is the wings of his poetry. He's sitting there on in the terrace, or he's sitting there in the garden of his friends on a bench. But he's imagining that he's already entered the jungle, the forest where the nightingale is going, and then he also sees that the moon is there. It is a moonlit night. The moon is there on the throne. We always talk about moon as Chanda Mama, but then Keats has used moon as a female, like Queen Moon is on a throne. I think that's all for today. Let me complete this. And then all of a sudden, he's with the Nightingale. And then और अचानक से वो उनके साथ है. He joins the Nightingale. He joins the Nightingale in his dreams, in his vision, in his imagination, because the imagery in this section is associated with the darkness and the night. He's thinking it's dark, it's not, it's the moon is in the sky, and he's in the jungle, and he's feeling good. He is in the kingdom of the night, which is soft and tender, and the moon is visible in the sky. So that's it for today.